Think back to all of the bourbon bros across TikTok who are talking about a huge range of bourbons and ryes that they just every now and again, yeah, of course, there's Blantons and Weller and all of that. But then once you branch out past that, they're talking about all of these different things that I've never heard of that, never seen it on a shelf here, never...
Oh, and never will. Never will.
I feel like that's another sector that there's a whole lot happening over there, but just the tiniest, minuscule portion of bourbon, rye, North American spirits actually finds its way over to here.
Yeah, well, and that's a numbers game, and it's also a consumer game, right? So New Zealand, highest spend per capita in terms of Jim Beam, right? And Beam is a great brand, great product. It's consistent, it's quality, it's benchmark. And some people will be surprised to hear me say that. Now, but when I say benchmark, and I say this equally, Jim Beam and Jack Daniel's, they are supremely well-made examples of their type, and that's one of the reasons why they're accessible and they're consistent and they're driven by loyalty, right? The consumers of those products as well. But then what happens in bourbon in North America, or American whiskey, I would say, is the broader category, is very similar to what's happened with gin here, right? So they don't have the same time constraints. So Kentucky straight bourbon, you are working with some time constraints, but the actual material turnover and the volume at which they're producing enables then a whole bunch of cask finishing, grain experimentation, or experimentation with multiple parts of the process that's rolling out. So you're starting to see a lot of that kind of pop up, and you're also seeing the barriers to market, barriers to entry are not massive in the States, particularly when you get into localized production. So that's really exciting. Some of what is happening there is very similar to the gin scene here in terms of that explosion, that consumer curiosity. In New Zealand, we're very unlikely to see a lot of that product translate over, and that's okay because not all of it's good, right? But part of the challenge there is that actually New Zealanders just don't drink enough bourbon. We're not drinking enough American whiskey. We haven't even got for a lot of consumers, they haven't got from Beam to Basil Hayden's, right? They haven't got to Knob Creek. They haven't got to small batch. They haven't got, so we've got a big kind of work to do to actually get the New Zealand consumer into even kind of more midpoint and premium bourbons and American whiskies, so that we can start then having conversations about, oh, well, this interesting thing or this interesting thing.